HABLA stands for Home-Based Activities Building Language Acquisition. These are programs that are designed to help children, particularly Spanish-speaking children, learn how to speak English through their acquisition of Spanish. The main goal of the HABLA program is to build language and literacy skills, but it's also to help parents learn how to speak to and interact with their children to help them build their language and literacy skills. It's based in Santa Ana, California, and the families are all disadvantaged. They are all low-income families. The cool thing about HABLA employees is that they are all local, they have to be members of the community, and they have to be bilingual. They have both a home-based and a center-based program, depending on what the family needs, and they also just implemented a summer program, according to their website. The core of HABLA's beliefs is that families are the children's first and most important teacher. That's why they do a lot of home visits for families who cannot get to the center or just for more convenience. The home visitors come into the home twice a week to interact with the children, talk with the parents, and provide resources that the families need. They are trying to create a supportive home environment. One way they do this is that they bring materials that the children will need for their language acquisition, such as books and crafts, and they bring information for parents and pamphlets and forms about housing information and healthcare and food banks and anything the family might need in order to create a healthy environment for their children. They want to support children's language development, but they want to train families on how to do this. The goal of HABLA in the first couple years is not to teach children English. It's actually to teach children Spanish. They believe that if they give children a strong base of Spanish, they can use this to learn their English later when they actually go to school. HABLA programs run for about 2 years with each family, and that includes 2 visits per week. When a visitor comes to the house or the family goes to the center, there is a lot of play. They have dramatic play, they have regular play with blocks and things, and they just speak with the children a lot. They speak with the families and they speak with the children in Spanish or their language of the family to build the child's vocabulary. They also show the families how they should be playing and interacting with their children. One of HABLA's beliefs is that, especially if they train the mother of the children, then the children will grow up more successful in school because they will have a stronger sense of independence and creativity. They will read a lot with the children in the language that the children speak originally. I think that's a really important part to emphasize. They are not teaching the children English or reading to them in English. They're showing the children how to read in Spanish and showing the parents how to read to their children in Spanish, and then emphasizing comprehension of the book through crafts or activities related to the book that they've just read. They also want the child to speak a lot. They don't want to do all the talking. They want the child to learn how to use their words appropriately. This handout reiterates everything that I've just said. It also includes 2 quotes from the HABLA website, both their position statement and their statement on family involvement. That the family involvement is the strongest part of this program because it's the whole basis around the program. Their 3 goals are to teach children language acquisition and literacy skills, to involve parents and train them on how to teach their children language and literacy skills, and to get community members involved and give them a job. Whether their payment is in college credit or actual money, they are getting compensated for this. This handout also expresses the 3 types of programs that the program uses. There's home-based, center-based, and the summer program. The summer program is only for children who are about to enter kindergarten. It's a way for them to practice being away from their parents, and it's an English immersion experience. So the whole program is in English, but the staff are all bilingual so that they can speak to the children in their native language. HABLA has a lot of long-term effects, but the biggest one is that if a child goes through the HABLA program, any younger siblings the child has will also receive the benefits because the parents will receive the training with the first child, and they can continue to use the skills and strategies that they have learned with their next children. So on the website, it says that the younger children actually score higher because they get the full experience of their parents using the skills rather than just after HABLA has started to come. KIPP schools are a type of charter school. KIPP stands for the Knowledge is Power program. They were invented by a former Teach for America employee, and they were founded in Houston, Texas, but they have spread all across the country since then. They also aim to serve disadvantaged students from lower income areas, especially in bigger cities such as Washington, D.C., New York, and Houston, Texas. KIPP programs start in preschool and go all the way through high school. Their goal is to get their children ready for college, and they want to start this as early as they can. An interesting thing about KIPP schools is that their school days are extended. Sometimes they go from 7:30 a.m. until 5 o'clock p.m., or some days they're shorter, like on Fridays. Their school year calendar is also extended. They have shorter summers and a couple more breaks during the year. KIPP schools value working with the parent as a partner of the child's learning. One of the very first things families will do when they enroll their child into a KIPP school is to sign a commitment to excellence, which is a pledge that lays out the family's role, the child's role, and the teacher's role in ensuring a positive experience and the best learning possible. Every couple weeks or once a month, parents are invited to the school to celebrate their children's accomplishments. This is not just parents. Other community members can come too, depending on what the program is. If it's like a Thanksgiving program, maybe everyone could come, or if it's more of a poetry reading, it would probably just be parents. Since KIPP is a charter school, families have to choose KIPP. They don't get districted into a KIPP school. Because of this, KIPP schools have high expectations for family involvement and interaction. They expect parents to be helping children with their homework every night. They expect parents to come to everything that they are invited to. They have high expectations, and parents need to meet them. KIPP schools are very structured. They have high expectations for their students as well as for their parents, as mentioned before. If an observer came into the classroom, they would see a lot of focus on math and literacy instruction. KIPP has its own literacy instruction guide called KIPP Wheatley, and they use another math curriculum. They do follow the Common Core standards because that is expected since they are not a private school, they are a charter school. But some states do not follow Common Core, so KIPP's curriculum can go either way. It's accommodating to Common Core, but it's not so strict that schools in states who do not support Common Core are following Common Core anyways. In an early childhood classroom, one thing that KIPP emphasizes is that the same things are not repeated year after year. The children do not learn the same content when they are 3 years old and 4 years old and 5 years old. They learn new content, maybe centered around the same theme, but it would build upon what they have already learned. Another thing KIPP emphasizes is that children are celebrated to getting their work done. Their achievements are important to them, and they are important to their teacher. Children are committed to their work. That is why they have such extended school days, because the children want to be there and they want to learn. This is a handout on KIPP schools if you would like to learn more. It includes their position statement and a quote from them on family involvement. They are focused on family involvement through their commitment to excellence, which is a very important part of a child's learning career. The most important parts of their curriculum are the extended day, the math curriculum, and the ELA curriculum. They focus heavily on reading, writing, and speaking through their ELA curriculum, which they write themselves. Their math guide is called Eureka Math, and it is not designed by them, but it is closely followed by them. The main goal of KIPP schools is to prepare their children for college. They believe that this is one of the best options that a children can take after finishing high school. Both the HABLA program and the KIPP program focus on communication with the family. In the HABLA program, visits are frequent to the home, usually 2 times a week. The same goes for the center-based program. Families are made aware of their child's progress at each and every visit and told what they can do to improve. The HABLA program is also very interesting because it provides information to the families and it communicates to them about housing and resources that they might need to make their home safe so that their child can be successful. KIPP schools, families are invited at the beginning of their enrollment to sign the commitment to excellence, and that is the biggest part of their involvement. The commitment to excellence lays out what they should be doing for the rest of their child's time at KIPP. They are also made aware of the child's progress through regular ways, such as a public school would be, through the teacher communication. This could be in a weekly folder, in phone calls home, however the teacher wants to communicate to the parents. The HABLA program is very focused on family education. That is one of their 3 main goals. They want to establish positive parent-child interactions that support children's learning goals through literacy acquisition or language or however the parents need to learn to support their child. That is what HABLA is there to do. HABLA also provides many materials such as books and crafts and resources that the families might need to be successful. At KIPP schools, family education is a little different and is mostly done through the commitment to excellence, where KIPP schools will tell families what is expected at a KIPP school, what families need to do to meet those goals, and how often they are going to be expected to do that. KIPP schools mainly focus on educating the child, but the communication from the teacher will guide the parents in what they need to focus on with their child to get them to be the best that they can be. The HABLA program has a lot of community involvement. All employees of the HABLA program are community members. They are not outside of the community. They are also all trained in both languages that the children will need to speak, English and whatever the child's native language is. Usually that is Spanish. Since all the employees are from the community, it is a very local program. If it were to be established elsewhere, it would have to be local to that community too. It couldn't be from Santa Ana. The program has a lot of connections with the community because they have to provide those resources for families, so they have to know what the resources are and be able to recommend the best ones for families. KIPP schools really want their students to be successful outside of school. This mostly for them means college, so they have a lot of partnerships with colleges and universities so that students know what their options are, which college they want to attend, and why. But they do invite community members in to those celebrations and functions. Both the HABLA program and KIPP schools have a lot of strengths. One of HABLA's biggest strengths is how often they involve parents. Since the visits are 2 times a week, parents are constantly meeting with HABLA employees. They know what their children are doing, they know what their goals are, and they are involved in every step of the process. HABLA also provides a lot of resources to the parents that improve the whole family, not just the child's education. HABLA really cares about creating a safe, healthy environment for children, so they provide information to families about dental care and health care, food resources, and housing information to make sure that the family is safe so the child can then learn more efficiently. HABLA also has a lot of community involvement. All of their employees are in the community, meaning that they really value providing jobs for the community. KIPP schools also have a lot of strengths. One of their biggest ones is their commitment to excellence. They make a commitment to the parents that they want to do well for the parent's child, they want to work with the parent, and that they value the parent's contributions to the school. Another strength that they have is their celebrations. It is very important to children that their accomplishments are celebrated, and they have celebrations often where parents come in and can see what their children have been doing and working on. Even the strongest programs have weaknesses. One of HABLA's weaknesses is that I think it might be a little bit offensive to families that HABLA comes in to teach them how to interact with their child. It is how to interact with their child more effectively. HABLA isn't saying that families don't know how to talk to their children, but it might be a little bit offensive, especially if parents already have children, to think that they have not done the best job that they can as parents. HABLA programs are also very long. They can be 2 or more years, and parents might get tired of the constant visits or centers or everything that they have to do to be involved with HABLA. In KIPP schools, there is not a whole lot of parent involvement after the initial commitment to excellence. The celebrations are good and parents are invited in, but it's also a minimal level of involvement. Parents come in and see their children do good work, and then that's kind of all that they do. Another weakness is their extended days. It's good that children get all the time to learn, but if they're at school from 7:30 to 5 o'clock, that is more time at school than they are with their parents. There's also not a whole lot of community involvement within KIPP schools.